Engines from the other railways sometimes traveled to the big station at the end of the line. They often stayed the night and left in the morning. The engines enjoyed having visitors, but the feelings weren't always mutual. One evening, Duck and Gordon were talking to a visitor at the sheds. "I traveled to London in my younger days," Gordon reminisced. "Do you know the place? The station's King's Cross." "King's Cross?" spluttered the engine. "London's Euston. Everyone knows that." "Rubbish," said Duck. "London's Paddington. I used to work there." "I can assure you," replied the visitor, "as I was named after it, the station is indeed Euston." "Silly name, if you ask me," muttered James, who was desperately trying to sleep. "It hasn't been that long since I worked there," continued Duck. "It must still be Paddington." "The good thing about shunters on my railway," interrupted Euston, "is they know their place and keep quiet. Manners you seem to have forgotten, much like the station name itself." Duck was incensed. "I do pity you, isolated on this island. I'd say come to London and find out for yourself, but that would never happen." Euston chuckled victoriously and fell contentedly to sleep. Duck and Gordon shared looks of disdain. Early next morning, the island was blanketed in fog. Duck was carefully preparing the morning trains and had brought Euston's coaches to the platform. Just then, the station master appeared. "Sorry, Duck. Could you move those coaches to platform 2? Less points to change if James's dairy train leaves from platform 1. Duck obliged and swiftly moved the coaches to the next platform. He'd just shunted the milk tankers in place when Euston came snorting crossly through the fog. He backed down into the station, but not onto his coaches. "What are you doing?" quizzed Duck. "Preparing for my train," Euston flatly replied. "What does it look like?" "But that's not your train," Duck tried to explain. "I thought I made myself quite clear," Euston interrupted with gritted teeth, "about shunters keeping quiet. Now be off with you." The shunter fastened the coupling, the guard blew his whistle, and Euston left, none the wiser. Duck returned to the sheds, still feeling cross. "No surprise Euston ignored me about his train, considering he wouldn't listen about the proper station name." "Huh," sniffed Gordon. "You could both do with listening to me on that matter. It is very clearly King's Cross." "Oh, you make me tired," yawned James. "At least you've agreed on one thing. London's not Euston." Before the others could reply, the yard foreman came running. "That Euston's gone down the branch line. Gordon, you must take his return train. James, the express for you." Gordon and James didn't need telling twice. They sauntered excitedly away. "Can I help, sir?" asked Duck. "Go and fetch the works train. The crews must inspect the rails. You can take the milk tankers to the dairy, then bring that silly engine back." Soon, Duck arrived at the junction. "Some minor repairs needed," announced the foreman, "but safe enough to proceed. On your way, Duck." Duck wasted no time and set off up the branch line with the milk tankers. When he returned, Euston grimaced at him. "Well," he demanded, "aren't you going to say something about this mess?" Certainly not, smirked Duck. Us shunters know when to keep quiet. The Fat Controller certainly didn't keep quiet. He left Houston's controller with no doubt what he thought of his engine's etiquette. And at last, the outspoken visitor left, completely silent. I do feel partially responsible, sir, sighed Duck. Some engines will never listen, no matter how hard you try, replied the Fat Controller. You did what you could and helped rectify the situation. I'm proud of you. There is one thing I wish you'd stay silent about, muttered Gordon. I'm telling you, it's Paddington, insisted Duck. As the engines argued again, the Fat Controller chuckled and hurried to his office, where he knew it would certainly be quiet.